Hello everyone, welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well and welcome to the match preview for the FA Cup semi-final between Manchester City and Arsenal. It's been quite a while since we reached the semi-final. 3 years since 2017. Last season we were eliminated by Man United early on, and the previous season in the third round, the first round for us, we were eliminated by Nottingham Forest in what was a disastrous game, but that is the past. We are now focusing on the future. So in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the earlier fixture that we played a couple of weeks ago after lockdown. I'm also going to be taking a look at the recent meetings between the two teams, the FA Cup runs for both teams this season. I'm also going to check out the lineup we put out against Sheffield United in the quarterfinal. And at the end, of course, I'm going to be showing you guys my lineup and also my alternative lineup for the game and also my prediction for the match. So all that is going to come up in this video. So let's just get straight into it. So let me start with the FA Cup runs for both teams this season. In the third round, Manchester City played Port Vale. I think that's a League 2 team, yeah? They beat them 4-1. Surprisingly, Port Vale actually equalized in that game, but yeah, the excitement didn't really last for long. They lost 4-1. In the fourth round, City played a championship team, Fulham, and beat them 4-0. In the fifth round, they played another championship team away from home, Sheffield Wednesday. They won 1-0, Aguero scoring yet again. And in the sixth round, they played Newcastle away from home and they won that game 2-0. KDB scored, that's De Bruyne, and Sterling also scored. In fact, against Sheffield Wednesday in the fifth round, Sheffield Wednesday had one shot and City had 22. 12 on target and 0 for Wednesday, and 80% possession. You could actually see similar numbers between Arsenal and City on the weekend, but hopefully not. City scored 11 goals or have scored 11 goals and conceded only one in this season's FA Cup. For Arsenal, we beat Leeds United in the third round 1-0, Nelson scoring that day. We were actually lucky. They had more shots, more on target, more possession. In the fourth round, we beat Bournemouth 2-1, Saka and Ketia getting our goals. Bournemouth gave us a scare in the last minute. They scored in the 94th minute and actually had another chance after that. In the fifth round, that was before lockdown, one of the last games before lockdown, the second last one, we beat Portsmouth 2-0, a League 1 team. Socrates scored and Ketia scored again. And in the quarterfinal recently, a couple of weeks ago, we beat Sheffield United in a tough game, away game. We beat them 2-1. Pepe scored a penalty and Sabaya scored late on in the 91st minute after McGoldrick had equalized for them in the 87th minute. For our lineup on that day against Sheffield United, I'll put it on screen right now. We had Martinez. We actually played a back three. Yeah, we played a back three in that game. Luiz, Mustafi, and Kolasinac. And then Tierney on the left and Niles on the right. We also had Xhaka, Willock, Lacazette, Saka, and Pepe. On the bench, we had Matt Messi, Socrates, Holding, Bellerin, Ceballos, Nelson, Ketia, Matthew Smith, a youngster, and Aubameyang was also completely rested for that game. He never came on. Of course, Ceballos was a substitute. He came on and won us that game. Ketia played a big part in that goal. So that has been the FA Cup run for both teams. Let me now take a look at a few records between the two teams. We've played City 4 times in the FA Cup before, in 1904, 1932, 1971, and of course recently in 2017. We won 3 of those games and only lost 1. Here's another record. Since we last beat City in the FA Cup game in 2017, we have played them 7 times. 3 times at home at the Emirates, 3 times at the Etihad, once at Wembley in the League Cup final in 2018. They've scored 20 goals and we've scored only 2. That is not a good record. That is the same kind of record we had against Liverpool when I was previewing the game the other day. And if you extend that to the last 10 games, including that FA Cup semi-final, City have won 8 of those games. We've drawn 1 and lost 1. City have scored 25 goals and we've only scored 7 goals. So basically from the last 4 years, it's been complete domination from Manchester City. Before that, we actually had kind of a good record against them because surprisingly they had won the league in 2014 and 2012, so you would have expected them to be trashing us those days. But surprisingly, between 2014 and 2016, we beat them three times and drew three times. We actually went 6 games without losing to them. In the 2014-2015 season, they never beat us. And also in the 2015-2016 season, they also never beat us. Of course, Chelsea and Leicester won the titles in those seasons. So that is the recent record between the two teams, not a very pleasing record. Now, let me take a look at the game that we played against them in the 2017 FA Cup semi-final. We beat them 2-1, as I've said. They actually took the lead after the 60th minute. And of course, the hope had gone by then. We never expected to win this game. And even after winning it, we were going to play Chelsea in the final. We were never expected to win that neither. Of course, I wouldn't really go through the lineup. I won't show this lineup because the players who played in that game, probably none of them will play in this game. We had Czech, Gabriel, Koscielny, Holding could play. Chamberlain, Xhaka, Ramsey, Monreal, Ozil, Sanchez, Giroud, Gibbs on the bench, Theo, Iwobi, Coquelin. From that game, Martinez was on the bench, he'll probably start this game. Bellerin was on the bench for that game, he'll probably start this game. And only maybe Xhaka and Holding, who played in that game, will probably start in this game 100%. Ozil, of course, is still in the lineup, but he's not favored right now. Holding, you're not sure if he's going to start. Obviously, you're not sure if Bellerin is going to start. So a lot of changes from that day. For City also, they had Bravo, Navas, Company, Otamendi, Clichy, Fernandinho, Yaya, David Silva, Sane, Aguero, Zabaleta, Delph, Iheanacho, Kolarov, and all of those Sterling, Caballero. And from those players, only Sterling, David Silva could start in this game. Bravo is still in the lineup, but I don't expect him to start, even though he's played in the other FA Cup games. Otamendi, I don't expect him to start. Sane is gone to Bayern already. Aguero is injured, so a lot of changes from that game. So you'll probably not see the same kind of game from that day. To the earlier meeting 2 weeks ago, on 17th of June, they completely beat us. Like, surprisingly, we actually played kind of well in the first half, even though we didn't have any shots. We were holding on tight until David Luiz did David Luiz things and gifted Sterling a 47th minute goal. KDB again scored a penalty in the 51st minute. Again, Luiz with the foul on Mahrez, and also Phil Foden scored in the 92nd minute. Our lineup for that day, let me put it on screen right now. We had a back four. We hadn't switched to the back three yet. Leno was in goal before his injury. Tierney played as the left back. Mustafi played with Pablo Mari in the middle centre back positions. Bellerin was at right back. Xhaka and Guendouzi were in the middle with Willock. Saka also played on the right. Aubameyang played on the left, and Ketia started up front. Luiz came from the bench for the injured Pablo Mari. Ceballos also replaced the injured Xhaka within 8 minutes of the start. Niles came on, Nelson came on, and Lacazette came on, all three of them in the 67th minute. They had 18 shots, 12 on target. We had 3 shots and only 0 on target. They had 67% possession and 33% possession. And it was a terrible game because, again, we also lost the next game against Brighton. So those are the recent fixtures against City. Let me take a look at the stats from that game. So stats from that game, City had won 7 consecutive games against Arsenal. Another stat is Arsenal lost by 3 or more goals, both home and away in a league season, versus the same opponent for the first time since 1969-1970 against Chelsea. Of course, City beat us at home 3-0 and at the ETIHAD 3-0. So they were the first team to beat us by a 3-goal margin, both home and away, since Chelsea in 1969-1970. Another stat was Sterling became the first player to score a Premier League goal in June. Of course, Premier League has never really been played in June. This was the first time, and he became the first player to score a goal in June since Walter Ricketts for Sheffield against Stoke back on 14th June 1947. Another stat, Sterling also scored in his 50th home game for his clubs that he has played for, Liverpool and Manchester City, and they've never lost when he scored at home. Another stat, David Luiz became the first player to be sent off, concede a penalty, and commit an error leading to a goal in the same match since Carl Jenkinson, another former Arsenal player, did it for West Ham against Bournemouth back in August of 2015. A player conceding a penalty, getting sent off, and also committing a mistake that led to a goal. That is so Arsenal. Another stat, final stat, Luiz has conceded 4 penalties this season, the joint most in a single campaign. Only 6 other players have done that in one season. Joseph Fonte for Southampton in 2016-2017, Gary Cardwell in 2011-2012, Ibrahima Sonko in 2007-2008, and then now we go back to players probably we won't know. Klose Ludovic Van or something back in 1999, Ken Moko in 93-94 and Luke Niholt in 93-94. So 6 players have conceded 4 penalties in the same season. So all those are all the stats you need to know. I'll now get into what my alternative lineup will be for the game before I get into my actual preferred lineup. So let me put it on screen right now. So for my alternative lineup, that's on screen right now. I know. But we expect City to have a lot of possession yet again. We expect them to have so many shots. In the previous game that we played against them, they had the likes of De Bruyne, David Silva, Mahrez, Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, Aguero came on, but he's injured right now. And you can see them getting chance after chance. So why not have the likes of a back 10, basically? Have a back 10, no strikers, defend for 80 minutes and then bring on Aubameyang and Lacazette. I mean, if you have that kind of lineup, how are they going to score against us? But it's so Arsenal. You won't be surprised if you actually start with that lineup and they still concede 4 goals. How? I mean, you just pack the bus completely with 10 players and they won't score a goal. So that is my alternative lineup. Also, let me know what you think about that lineup. But now let me just get into what my real lineup would be for the game. In goal, of course, Emi Martinez, brilliant again against Liverpool, saved us the 3 points that day. Alexander-Arnold's deflected shot would have gone in straight. Bellerin at the back, I'd bring him back in. Cedric was okay, but I don't think he can play 90 minutes against City or be able to take care of Sterling for the 90 minutes. Niles too. Bellerin will start for me, and then at the back I'd stick with Holding and Tierney partnering Luiz as the centre backs. Tierney was amazing again. Holding, the way he dealt with Mane was okay, even though he scored. Tierney, the way he dealt with Salah, brilliant. So I'll put him there again. And then as the left wing back, I'd put Bukayo Saka, another player who has to start, a brilliant player. At centre midfield, I started Xhaka and Ceballos. Bring back Ceballos. He got a rest against Liverpool. Torreira will drop back to the bench. And then up front, I'd have Pepe on the right, Aubameyang on the left, and Lacazette up front. He's come into form recently, scoring 3 goals since the Premier League return. On the bench, I'd have Matt Messi, Socrates, Mustafi, Kolasinac, Cedric, Niles, Torreira, Willock, and Nelson. Just to run through it again, Martinez, Bellerin, Holding, Luiz, Tierney, and Saka. Xhaka, Ceballos, Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang. I know the bench is kind of not as strong as City's. You'd expect City to have Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden on the bench, maybe even Benjamin Mendy, Zinchenko, maybe Fernandinho. So they have a stronger bench than us, obviously. But yeah, we just have to deal with this. If things are going well in the second half, we could probably add defenders, maybe Mustafi or Socrates. Kolasinac, I don't know about him. Torreira, of course, we probably need Torreira and Willock in this game. Nelson played really well against Liverpool, so I'd want to see him in this game too. So that would be my lineup for the game. My prediction would be a 2-2. A hopeful 2-2. A really hopeful 2-2. I hope we go to penalties. I managed to beat them there. But you never know what can happen. We beat Liverpool. I know City is a tough test, probably the hardest team of them all for me. I think they're better than Liverpool, even though Liverpool won the title. So that is my lineup. That is my prediction. Let me know in the comment section what your prediction is, what your lineup would be for the game. And yeah, do you think we can win this game? Really? Do you really think we can win this game? But anyway, I have a quiz related to this game coming up on probably Saturday morning, so be prepared for that. Thanks for watching again. Keep staying safe, and I'll talk to you later.